Welcome to this guided meditation for detachment from overthinking. This meditation will help you create a healthy distance from anxious thoughts, obsessive patterns, and the mental loops that keep you trapped in cycles of worry and depression. Whether your mind races with what-if scenarios, gets stuck on repetitive thoughts, or feels overwhelmed by the constant chatter of anxiety, this practice will teach you how to step back and observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You don't need any special experience with meditation. All you need is a willingness to be present with yourself and learn a new way of relating to your mind. This meditation works by training your awareness to recognize thoughts as temporary mental events rather than absolute truths or commands you must follow. When you practice regularly, you'll find that you can witness your thoughts coming and going like clouds passing through the sky without being pulled into their drama or urgency. Over time, this creates a profound sense of inner peace and freedom from the exhausting cycle of overthinking. For the best results, I recommend listening to this meditation daily for at least 2 weeks. The more consistently you practice, the stronger your ability to detach from overthinking becomes. Remember that this is a skill that develops over time, so be patient and gentle with yourself as you learn. If you find yourself getting caught up in thoughts during the meditation, that's completely normal and expected. Simply notice when it happens and gently return your attention to my voice. You have complete control throughout this entire practice. If you ever need to pause, adjust your position, or open your eyes, you can do so at any time. This meditation is designed to be deeply relaxing, and you may find yourself drifting towards sleep. That's perfectly fine. Your subconscious mind will continue to absorb the beneficial suggestions, even if your conscious mind begins to rest. Now, before we begin, take a moment to prepare your environment. Find a comfortable position where you can remain undisturbed for the next while. You can sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, lie down on your bed, or choose any position that allows your body to relax completely. Make sure the lighting is dim or turn off the lights entirely. Remove any distractions, like phones or devices, that might interrupt your practice. Allow yourself to settle into this moment. Notice that right now, in this very instant, you are safe, you are supported. Whatever thoughts have been troubling you, whatever worries have been cycling through your mind, you can set them aside for now. This is your time to rest, to heal, and to learn a new way of being with your thoughts. Take 3 slow, deep breaths with me. Breathe in slowly through your nose, feeling your chest and belly expand. Hold for just a moment, and breathe out through your mouth, releasing any tension you've been carrying. Again, breathe in deeply, allowing fresh air to fill your lungs completely. Hold briefly, and breathe out, letting go of any stress or worry. One more time, breathe in with intention, drawing in calm and peace. Hold gently, and breathe out, releasing everything you no longer need to carry. Excellent. Now allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. You don't need to control it or change it in any way. Simply let your body breathe itself while you listen to my voice. Notice how your chest rises and falls automatically without any effort from you. This natural breathing is happening all by itself, just like many processes in your body that work perfectly without your conscious involvement. As we begin this journey toward mental freedom, I want you to understand something important about thoughts. Thoughts are not facts. They are not commands. They are not predictions of the future or accurate descriptions of reality. Thoughts are simply mental events that arise and pass away, like waves on the ocean or leaves falling from a tree. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that observes them. Right now, begin to notice any thoughts that are present in your mind. Don't try to push them away or judge them as good or bad. Simply observe them with curious, gentle attention. Perhaps you notice planning thoughts about what you need to do later. Maybe there are worry thoughts about something that might happen. You might observe critical thoughts about yourself or others. Whatever thoughts are there, just notice them without getting involved in their content. Imagine that your awareness is like a vast, clear sky. Thoughts are like clouds that drift through the sky. Some clouds are dark and stormy, representing anxious or depressing thoughts. Some clouds are light and fluffy, representing neutral or pleasant thoughts. But regardless of what types of clouds pass through, the sky itself remains unchanged. The sky is not damaged by storm clouds, and it is not made better by beautiful clouds. The sky simply provides the space for all clouds to come and go. You are like this sky. Your essential awareness, your true self, remains peaceful and unchanged regardless of what thoughts drift through your mind. Anxious thoughts cannot harm your core being any more than storm clouds can damage the sky. This understanding is the foundation of detachment from overthinking. Now I want you to practice observing your thoughts from this sky-like perspective. Notice any thought that arises, and instead of getting caught up in its story or meaning, simply label it. You might say to yourself, thinking, or planning, or worrying. Keep the labels simple and neutral. The goal is not to analyze or solve your thoughts, but simply to recognize them as temporary mental events. If you notice your mind getting pulled into the content of a thought, that's perfectly normal. The moment you realize you've been caught up in thinking, gently celebrate this awareness. Noticing that you've been thinking is actually a moment of awakening, not a mistake. From this place of awareness, you can gently step back into your role as the observer. Let's practice this together. I'll guide you through observing different types of thoughts that commonly create suffering. First, notice if there are any worry thoughts present. These might be thoughts about something bad that could happen in the future. Instead of following these thoughts down their anxious pathways, simply observe them. You might notice how worry thoughts often start with phrases like, "What if?" or "I should," or "I need to." Just notice these patterns without judgment. See if you can observe worry thoughts the way you might watch a movie. The movie might be dramatic or scary, but you remain safely seated in your chair, knowing that what you're watching is not your current reality. Similarly, worry thoughts are just mental movies about possible futures that may never happen. You can observe them without being pulled into their drama. Now notice if there are any repetitive thoughts present. These are thoughts that seem to play on a loop, going over the same scenarios or problems again and again. Obsessive thoughts often feel urgent and important, as if you must keep thinking them in order to solve something or prevent something bad from happening. But notice that despite all this repetitive thinking, these thoughts rarely lead to actual solutions or peace. Observe these repetitive thoughts like a broken record that keeps playing the same song. You don't need to fix the record or change the song. You can simply acknowledge that the record is broken and choose not to listen so intently. The thoughts may continue to repeat, but you don't have to give them your full attention or believe that they require immediate action. Next, notice any critical thoughts about yourself. These might be thoughts telling you that you're not good enough, that you've made mistakes, or that others are judging you. Self-critical thoughts often feel very convincing and true, but remember that thoughts are not facts. These critical voices are just old mental habits, often learned in childhood, that no longer serve you. Observe self-critical thoughts like an old radio playing in the background of a store. You might hear the radio, but you don't have to stop what you're doing to listen to every song or analyze every lyric. The radio is just background noise that you can acknowledge and then ignore as you focus on more important things. As you practice observing these different types of thoughts, you might notice something interesting happening. The thoughts don't disappear completely, but they begin to lose their power over you. When you're not feeding them with your attention and emotional energy, they naturally begin to quiet down. This is the power of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you become cold or disconnected from life. It means you develop a healthy relationship with your thoughts, where you can choose which ones deserve your attention and which ones you can simply let pass by. You become like a wise gardener who knows the difference between flowers worth nurturing and weeds that should be ignored. Continue practicing this observational awareness. Notice how it feels to step back from your thoughts rather than being immersed in them. You might experience a sense of relief, spaciousness, or calm. This is your natural state of being when you're not caught up in mental stories and dramas. This peaceful awareness has always been available to you, just beneath the surface of your busy mind. Remember that developing this skill takes practice. Your mind has been in the habit of overthinking for a long time, so be patient as you learn this new way of relating to your thoughts. Each time you practice observing rather than engaging, you're strengthening your capacity for mental freedom. You're training yourself to be the master of your mind rather than its victim. As we continue this meditation, allow yourself to rest more deeply into this observer consciousness. Let your body become heavier and more relaxed as your mind becomes lighter and more free. You're learning that you don't have to solve every problem or think every thought to completion. You can simply be present, aware, and at peace with whatever arises in your mind. Peace with whatever arises in your mind. Now, let your awareness expand even further. Feel yourself becoming more spacious, more open, like a vast ocean that can hold any wave without being disturbed by it. Anxious thoughts, or depressive thoughts, obsessive patterns, they're all just waves on the surface of your deep, calm awareness. The ocean doesn't fight the waves or try to make them stop. It simply holds them with infinite patience until they naturally settle back into stillness. As you rest in this expanded awareness, I want you to practice something called the two-step back technique. When you notice a thought that feels particularly sticky or compelling, instead of immediately engaging with it, take 2 mental steps backward. Imagine yourself physically stepping away from the thought, creating distance between you and its energy. From this stepped back position, you can observe the thought more clearly without being pulled into its emotional charge. Let's practice this now Notice any thought that feels heavy or urgent. Maybe it's a thought about something you need to do, someone you're worried about, or a situation you wish were different. Instead of diving into this thought, take that first step back. Feel yourself creating a small buffer of space between you and the thought. Notice how even this small distance changes your relationship with it. Now take the second step back. Create even more space. From this perspective, the thought that seemed so important and urgent just moments ago might now appear smaller, less demanding of your immediate attention. You can see it clearly, but you're no longer consumed by it. This is the power of conscious distance. Your mind might resist this stepping back at first. The thinking mind has been your primary way of trying to solve problems and stay safe for so long that it doesn't trust this new approach. That's completely natural. Your mind might generate thoughts like, but I need to think about this, or this is important. I can't just ignore it. These are just more thoughts to observe with the same gentle detachment. Notice how your mind creates stories about why you must keep thinking certain thoughts. It might tell you that if you don't worry about something, bad things will happen. It might insist that if you don't analyze a problem thoroughly, you'll never find a solution, but these are just stories, not truths. In reality, most of your best insights and solutions come not from forced thinking, but from the spacious awareness you're cultivating right now. Allow yourself to sink deeper into this peaceful detachment. Feel your body becoming heavier against whatever surface is supporting you. Your muscles are beginning to release tension they've been holding, perhaps for hours, days, or even longer. As your body relaxes, your mind naturally follows, becoming softer and more open. Notice how different this feels from your usual mental state. Instead of being caught in the whirlwind of thoughts, you're resting in the eye of the storm, where everything is calm and still. This calm center has always existed within you. You haven't created it through this meditation. You've simply remembered it, uncovered it from beneath the layers of mental noise. From this centered place, practice observing thoughts about the past. These might be regretful thoughts about things you did or didn't do, resentful thoughts about how others treated you, or nostalgic thoughts about better times. Past-focused thoughts often carry emotional weight that feels very real and important. But notice that no matter how vivid or emotionally charged these thoughts are, they're all happening right now, in this present moment. The past exists only as memories arising in present awareness. Watch these past-focused thoughts like old photographs in an album. You can look at them, acknowledge what they show, but you don't have to climb inside the photograph and live there. The photographs are just images, not your current reality. Similarly, thoughts about the past are just mental images that you can observe without being pulled back in time. Now notice any thoughts about the future. These might be planning thoughts, worry thoughts about what could go wrong, or fantasy thoughts about how you want things to be. Future-focused thoughts often create anxiety because they deal with unknowns and possibilities rather than current realities. But like thoughts about the past, future thoughts are also happening right now, in present awareness. Observe future-focused thoughts like weather predictions on the news. The meteorologist might predict rain tomorrow, but that prediction doesn't make it rain today. Future thoughts are just mental predictions that may or may not come true. You can acknowledge them without living as if they're already happening. As you continue to practice this detached observation, you might notice that some thoughts seem to have more stickiness than others. Certain thoughts grab your attention more forcefully and seem harder to step back from. This is usually because these thoughts are connected to deeper fears, unresolved emotions, or core beliefs about yourself and the world. Don't judge yourself for having sticky thoughts. Everyone has them. Instead, approach these more challenging thoughts with extra gentleness and patience. When you notice a particularly sticky thought, you might say to yourself, "I see you, I acknowledge you, but I don't need to be controlled by you right now." This acknowledgement often helps reduce the thought's urgency. Sometimes, the most healing thing you can do is simply witness your thoughts without trying to change them at all. There's profound wisdom in learning to be present with your mental experience exactly as it is, without needing to fix, solve, or improve anything. This acceptance doesn't mean you're resigned to suffering. It means you're developing the strength to face your inner world with courage and compassion. Feel yourself settling even more deeply into this witnessing awareness. Your breathing is naturally slow and even. Your heartbeat is steady and calm. Your body temperature might be shifting as you relax more fully. All of these physical changes are signs that your nervous system is moving out of the fight or flight mode that overthinking often triggers and into a state of rest and restoration. In this relaxed state, your brain actually functions more efficiently. The parts of your brain responsible for creativity, problem solving, and emotional regulation work better when you're not caught in cycles of anxious thinking. By learning to detach from overthinking, you're not becoming less capable of handling life's challenges. You're becoming more capable. Notice any resistance that arises to this idea. Your mind might generate thoughts like, "But if I don't think about my problems, how will I solve them?" Or, "I need to stay vigilant, or something bad will happen." These protective thoughts come from a part of you that's trying to keep you safe, but they're based on the false belief that constant thinking equals safety or control. The truth is that most of the things you worry about never happen, and most of the problems you obsess over either resolve themselves or require actions that become clear when you're in a calm, centered state rather than an anxious, overthinking state. Trust that when you need to take action or make decisions, the clarity will come from this peaceful awareness rather than from forced mental effort. Allow yourself to rest even more deeply now. Feel your body sinking into a wonderful heaviness, as if you're being gently pulled downward by a magnetic force that only wants to help you relax. This heaviness is not the weight of depression or fatigues, but the pleasant weight of deep relaxation and release. Your muscles are letting go of tension you didn't even realize you were carrying. Your mind is beginning to mirror this physical relaxation. Thoughts are coming less frequently, and when they do arise, they feel softer, less insistent. It's becoming easier to maintain that observer position, watching thoughts come and go without getting caught up in their stories. This is your natural state when you're not forcing your mind to work overtime. From this deeply relaxed place, practice sending compassion to the part of you that tends to overthink. This part of you developed its patterns as a way of trying to protect you or solve problems. It's been working very hard, perhaps for many years, trying to keep you safe through constant mental activity. Thank this part of you for its efforts, even as you gently teach it a new way of being. You might say to your overthinking mind, "Thank you for trying to help me. I understand that you've been working so hard because you care about me, but I'm learning a new way now, a way that creates more peace and clarity. You can rest now. You don't have to carry this burden alone anymore." This compassionate approach to your own mind creates a foundation for lasting change. When you fight against your thoughts or judge yourself for overthinking, you often create more mental tension and activity. But when you approach your mind with kindness and understanding, it naturally begins to settle and trust this new way of being. Continue to rest in this space of compassionate detachment. You're not trying to get rid of thoughts or achieve some perfect state of mental emptiness. You're simply learning to have a different relationship with whatever arises in your consciousness. This relationship is based on awareness rather than reactivity, choice rather than compulsion, peace rather than struggle. Your subconscious mind is absorbing these new patterns even as your conscious mind relaxes more deeply. At levels below your ordinary awareness, profound healing and reorganization are taking place. Neural pathways associated with overthinking and anxiety are beginning to calm, while pathways associated with peace and clarity are being strengthened. Trust this process completely. You don't need to understand how it works or monitor your progress. Just as your body knows how to heal a cut without your conscious intervention, your mind knows how to restore itself to its natural state of clarity and calm when you create the right conditions. This meditation is creating those conditions. Feel yourself floating now in an ocean of pure awareness. There's no effort required, no goal to achieve, nothing to figure out or fix. You're simply being held by the vast intelligence that underlies all of existence, the same intelligence that grows flowers and moves planets and beats your heart without any help from your thinking mind. In this space, overthinking is revealed for what it really is, just a habit of mind that you can choose to engage with or not. You are so much larger than your thoughts, so much more than your mental patterns. You are the awareness itself, infinite and free, temporarily focused through the lens of your individual experience, but never limited by it. Rest here for as long as you need. Let this deep knowing of your true nature sink into every cell of your body, every corner of your mind. You are learning to live from this place of expanded awareness, where thoughts are just passing phenomena in the vast sky of your being. As you continue to rest in this expansive awareness, allow yourself to go even deeper into this state of peaceful detachment. With each breath you take, you're moving further away from the compulsive need to think and analyze, and closer to a natural state of mental freedom that has always been your birthright. Now I want you to imagine that your thoughts are like trains arriving at a busy station. Throughout your life, you've been getting on every train that arrives, letting each thought carry you to wherever it wants to go. The worry train takes you to imagined future disasters. The regret train takes you back to painful past experiences. The self-criticism train takes you to a place of feeling inadequate and flawed. But today, you're learning that you don't have to board every train that arrives. You can stand on the platform of your awareness and simply watch the trains come and go. Some trains are loud and seem urgent. They might blow their whistles and flash their lights, trying to convince you that you must get on board, but you have the power to remain standing calmly on your platform, observing these trains without feeling compelled to climb aboard. Practice this now. Notice any thought that arises and imagine it as a train pulling into your mental station. Maybe it's an anxious thought about tomorrow's responsibilities. See this thought train arrive, acknowledge its presence, but don't get on board. Simply watch it idle at the station for a moment, then observe as it pulls away, taking its emotional cargo with it. Another train might arrive, this one carrying obsessive thoughts about a conversation you had yesterday, replaying it over and over, analyzing every word and gesture. Again, you can see this train clearly, but you don't have to purchase a ticket for this journey into repetitive mental territory. Let this train too depart without you. Feel the relief that comes from this new way of relating to your thoughts. There's a lightness that emerges when you realize you don't have to be a passenger on every mental vehicle that appears. You can choose which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones you can simply let pass by, like distant trains heading to destinations you don't need to visit. Your body is becoming increasingly relaxed as you practice this mental detachment. The tension in your shoulders is melting away. Your jaw is softening. The muscles around your eyes are releasing. Even your scalp is relaxing, as if a tight cap has been gently removed from your head. This physical relaxation is both a result of your mental freedom and a support for it. Now let's explore another powerful technique for detaching from overthinking. Imagine that your awareness is like a vast mountain, solid and unmovable. Throughout the day, weather patterns move across this mountain. Sometimes there are storms with thunder and lightning, representing intense emotional thoughts. Sometimes there are gentle rains of sadness or gray fogs of confusion. Other times, there might be bright sunshine of joy or peaceful clear skies. But notice that no weather pattern, no matter how dramatic, actually changed the mountain itself. The mountain doesn't become less stable during a storm. It doesn't become fundamentally different when shrouded in fog. The mountain remains itself, constant and unshakable, providing a foundation for all weather to pass over and through. You are like this mountain. Your essential being, your core awareness, remains steady and unchanged, regardless of what mental weather patterns move through your consciousness. Anxious thoughts cannot diminish your fundamental stability any more than a thunderstorm can reduce a mountain to rubble. Depressive thoughts cannot alter your basic nature any more than fog can transform stone into something else. From this mountain-like perspective, observe any mental weather that's currently present. Perhaps there are storm clouds of worry gathering in your awareness. Instead of becoming the storm, remain as the mountain. Feel your solid, unchanging presence beneath whatever mental weather is occurring. The storm may be intense, but you are vast enough to hold it without being overwhelmed by it. If you notice fog-like thoughts of confusion or depression, remember that fog is temporary and doesn't change the landscape it covers. The mountain remains exactly as it was before the fog arrived, and exactly as it will be after the fog lifts. Your clarity and strength are not diminished by temporary mental cloudiness. Allow yourself to sink deeper into this mountain-like stability. Feel your body becoming heavier, more grounded, more connected to the earth beneath you. Your breathing is naturally slowing as you settle into this unshakable foundation of being. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to figure out, nothing you need to change about yourself. You are perfect exactly as you are, just like a mountain is perfect in its natural state. As you rest in this grounded awareness, I want to teach you about the space between thoughts. Most people are so focused on the content of their thoughts that they never notice the gaps, the moments of silence that exist between each mental event. But these gaps are actually where your true peace resides. Pay attention now to the natural pauses in your thinking. After one thought ends and before the next one begins, there's always a brief moment of spaciousness, a tiny opening of pure awareness. These moments might only last a fraction of a second, but they contain infinite peace and freedom. They are windows into your natural state of being. Instead of rushing to fill these gaps with more thinking, practice resting in them. When you notice the space between thoughts, linger there for as long as possible. Don't try to make the gap longer or force thoughts to stop. Just appreciate whatever natural spaciousness is already present. This is like discovering hidden oases of peace in the desert of mental activity. These gaps between thoughts are always available to you, even during your busiest days. By learning to notice and rest in them, you're developing a skill that can bring instant relief from overthinking. No matter how chaotic your mental activity becomes, you can always find these moments of natural silence and use them as anchor points for your awareness. Practice this now. Notice when one thought ends and allow yourself to rest in the quiet space before the next thought appears. Don't worry if the gaps seem very small at first. With practice, you'll become more sensitive to these natural pauses, and they'll begin to feel more spacious and restorative. You're learning to find refuge in the silence that exists within your own mind. As you continue to explore these spaces between thoughts, you might notice that your relationship with time begins to shift. In the gaps between thoughts, there's no sense of past or future, no mental timeline running in the background. There's only the eternal now, the timeless present moment where peace naturally resides. This timeless quality is another aspect of your true nature that gets obscured by constant thinking when your mind is always processing information about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. You lose touch with the only moment where life actually occurs, this present moment. But in the spaces between thoughts, you rediscover your natural connection to the eternal now. Allow yourself to rest more deeply in this timeless awareness. Feel how different it is from your usual experience of rushing through time, always trying to get to the next moment, the next solution, the next thought that might finally bring relief. Here, in this spacious present, there's nowhere to go and nothing to achieve. You can simply be, completely and fully, without any agenda or goal. Your nervous system is responding beautifully to this deep relaxation. Stress hormones that may have been elevated due to chronic overthinking are beginning to subside. Your heart rate is slowing to a peaceful rhythm. Your blood pressure is naturally lowering. Every system in your body is shifting into a mode of restoration and healing. This physiological calm is not just a pleasant side effect of the meditation, It's actually supporting your ability to maintain mental detachment. When your body is relaxed, your mind finds it much easier to step back from compulsive thinking patterns. The body and mind work together as an integrated system, each supporting the other's movement toward greater peace and balance. Now let's practice working with one of the most challenging aspects of overthinking, the thoughts that seem to demand immediate attention and action. These are the thoughts that feel urgent and important, the ones that convince you that you must engage with them right now, or something terrible will happen. When you encounter these demanding thoughts, practice what I call the pause and breathe technique. Instead of immediately engaging with the thought's apparent urgency, pause. Take one slow, conscious breath. In that pause, in that single breath, you create a moment of choice. You can choose to engage with the thought's drama, or you can choose to maintain your observer position. Most urgent thoughts lose much of their power when you don't immediately react to them. They're like children having tantrums. They escalate when they get attention and often settle down when they're calmly ignored. This doesn't mean you'll never take action on important matters. It means you'll respond from a place of clarity rather than reactivity. Practice this now with any thought that feels pressing or urgent. Notice the thought, acknowledge its presence, then pause and breathe before deciding how much attention it truly deserves. You might discover that many thoughts that seem urgent in the moment are actually just mental habits that have learned to create false emergencies to capture your attention. As you continue to practice these techniques, remember that detachment is not the same as suppression or avoidance. You're not trying to push thoughts away or pretend they don't exist. True detachment involves seeing thoughts clearly while maintaining your freedom to choose how you respond to them. It's the difference between being a prisoner of your thoughts and being their wise observer. This wise observer part of you has always existed. It's been present during every moment of your life, quietly witnessing all your experiences without being changed by them. Even during your most difficult periods of anxiety, depression, or obsessive thinking, this observer consciousness was there, holding space for your suffering with infinite patience and compassion. You're not creating this observer awareness through meditation. You're simply remembering it, reconnecting with it, learning to identify with it, more than with the temporary thoughts and emotions that pass through it. This shift in identification is the key to lasting freedom from overthinking. Feel yourself settling even more deeply into this observer identity. You are not the anxious person who worries about the future. You are not the depressed person who feels hopeless about life. You are not the obsessive person who can't stop analyzing and controlling. You are the aware presence that can witness all of these states without being defined by any of them. From this expanded sense of self, all mental and emotional experiences become workable. Nothing is too difficult to face when you're not completely identified with it. Anxiety becomes just anxious energy moving through awareness. Depression becomes just heavy emotions flowing through consciousness. Obsessive thoughts become just repetitive mental patterns occurring within the vast space of your being. This doesn't minimize the real impact these experiences can have on your life, but it provides a foundation of stability from which you can work with them more skillfully. When you know yourself as the unchanging awareness, rather than the changing contents of that awareness, you have an unshakable reference point that no mental storm can destroy. Allow this knowing to permeate every cell of your body now. Let it sink into your bones, your blood, your breath. You are so much more than your thoughts, so much larger than your mental patterns, so much freer than your conditioned responses. This freedom is not something you need to earn or achieve. It's something you need to remember and embody. Your subconscious mind is absorbing these insights at the deepest levels, creating new neural pathways that support mental freedom and emotional balance. Even after this meditation ends, these new patterns will continue to integrate and strengthen, gradually transforming your default relationship with thoughts and emotions. Rest now in the profound simplicity of just being. There's nothing to figure out, nothing to fix, nothing to improve. You are already whole, already complete, already free. The overthinking mind may not believe this yet, but the deepest part of you recognizes this truth immediately. Trust this deeper knowing and let it guide you back to your natural state of peace and clarity. To your natural state of peace and clarity. Continue to rest in this profound understanding of your true nature. Feel yourself dissolving any remaining boundaries between the observer and what is being observed. You are not separate from this peaceful awareness. You are this awareness itself, temporarily focused through the lens of your individual experience, but never limited by it. As you sink deeper into this recognition, notice how your body responds to this expanded sense of identity. There's a softening that occurs when you stop trying to be someone or something specific and simply allow yourself to be the open awareness that you naturally are. Your muscles release patterns of holding they've maintained for years. Your breath becomes so gentle and natural that it almost seems to breathe itself. This is your body's wisdom recognizing truth. Every cell in your body knows this state of being. It's encoded in your DNA, written in the very fabric of your existence. You haven't learned something new today. You've remembered something ancient and eternal. This is why this peaceful detachment feels so familiar, so much like coming home. Now let's explore what happens when you bring this awareness to the specific patterns that have been troubling you. Whether your mind tends toward anxious spirals, depressive loops, or obsessive cycles, all of these patterns share one common element. They depend on your unconscious participation to maintain their power over you. Think of these patterns like old grooves worn into a record. Your thoughts have been playing the same tracks over and over, creating deeper and deeper grooves that seem impossible to escape. But from this expanded awareness, you're no longer the music playing in the grooves. You're the space in which the entire record player exists. You can hear the music without being it. When an anxious spiral begins, it typically starts with a single worry thought that you unconsciously grab onto and feed with your attention. That thought then generates more worried thoughts, each one seeming to confirm that there's really something to be concerned about. Before you know it, you're caught in a whirlwind of what-if scenarios and catastrophic thinking that feels completely real and urgent. But watch what happens when you apply the observer awareness you've been cultivating. The first worry thought arises, and instead of immediately engaging with its content, you recognize it as just another thought, train arriving at your mental station. You can see it clearly, acknowledge its presence, But you don't have to board it for a journey into imaginary futures that may never occur. Practice this now. If there's any anxiety present in your system, any worry thoughts lingering in the background of your awareness, bring them into the light of your conscious attention. Don't try to solve or fix these concerns. Simply observe them with the same detached curiosity you might have while watching fish swim in an aquarium. The fish are real, they're moving, but you're not in the water with them. Feel how different this relationship to anxiety can be. Instead of being swept away by worried thoughts, you can remain grounded in your mountain-like stability while allowing the anxious weather to move through your awareness. The anxiety doesn't disappear immediately, but it loses its grip on you. It becomes just another temporary experience, rather than an emergency that requires your immediate and total attention. Similarly, when depressive thoughts arise, they often carry a heavy quality that seems to pull your entire sense of self down with them. These thoughts might tell you that nothing matters, that you're not good enough, or that life will never get better. They create a lens through which everything looks dark and hopeless, but from the perspective of the unchanging observer, you can see these depressive thoughts as weather patterns moving across the vast sky of your being. Yes, the sky might be overcast, but the infinite space that holds the clouds is not diminished by their presence. The clouds are temporary, the sky is eternal. When you notice depressive thoughts arising, practice expanding your awareness to include not just the heavy thoughts, but also the spacious consciousness that's aware of them. Feel yourself as the container rather than the contents. The depression might be present, but you are larger than the depression. You are the awareness in which it appears and from which it will eventually dissolve. Obsessive thought patterns work differently, but respond to the same fundamental approach. Obsessive thoughts create a false sense of urgency and importance, convincing you that you must keep thinking them in order to solve something or prevent something terrible from happening. They hook into your natural desire to feel safe and in control, but obsessive thoughts are like a mental hamster wheel, lots of activity, but no actual movement toward resolution. The more you think these thoughts, the stronger they become. The more attention you give them, the more convinced you become that they're important and necessary. From your observer position, you can see obsessive thoughts for what they really are: mental habits that have learned to capture your attention through repetition and false urgency. They're not actually protecting you or solving anything. They're just old programs running in the background of your consciousness. When you notice obsessive thoughts beginning their familiar cycle, you can practice the technique of acknowledgement without engagement. You might say to yourself, "I notice my mind is starting to obsess about this situation. I see these thoughts. I acknowledge them, but I don't need to feed them with my attention right now." This acknowledgement is crucial because it prevents the thoughts from gaining power through resistance. When you try to push obsessive thoughts away or fight them directly, you often give them more energy. But when you simply notice them without getting involved in their drama, they gradually lose their compulsive quality. Allow yourself to sink even deeper now into this space of compassionate detachment. Your body is becoming so relaxed that you might barely feel its boundaries anymore. This dissolution of physical tension mirrors the dissolution of mental boundaries that occurs when you stop identifying so strongly with your thoughts and emotions. In this deeply relaxed state, your brain is actually rewiring itself. Neuroscientists have discovered that states of deep relaxation and meditative awareness promote neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections and pathways. The pathways associated with overthinking and anxiety are being allowed to rest, while new pathways associated with peace and clarity are being strengthened. This rewiring happens naturally when you create the right conditions. You don't need to force it or monitor it. Just as your body knows how to heal a wound without your conscious direction, your brain knows how to restore itself to healthier patterns when you provide the environment of relaxed awareness you're experiencing right now. Trust this process completely. Every moment you spend in this state of detached awareness is contributing to lasting positive changes in your mental and emotional patterns. These changes might be subtle at first, but they accumulate over time, gradually shifting your default way of relating to thoughts and emotions. Now I want to guide you into an even deeper level of this meditation. Allow your awareness to expand beyond the boundaries of your individual mind altogether. Feel yourself becoming part of something much larger, a vast field of consciousness that connects all beings. In this expanded state, your personal thoughts and worries seem very small and temporary, like ripples on the surface of an infinite ocean. This is not meant to diminish the validity of your human experience, but to provide a broader context that can offer profound relief from the intensity of personal mental drama. When you realize that you're part of something infinitely larger than your individual story, your problems don't disappear, but they become much more manageable. From this cosmic perspective, you can see that the thoughts and emotions you've been struggling with are just temporary modifications of consciousness, like waves on water or clouds in sky. They arise, exist for a while, and then dissolve back into the formless awareness from which they came. Nothing is permanent except the awareness itself. Feel yourself floating in this ocean of pure consciousness now. There are no boundaries between you and this infinite field of being. You are not separate from it. You are a unique expression of it, like a wave is a unique expression of the ocean. This recognition brings profound peace because you realize you're never truly alone or isolated. You're always connected to the source of all existence. In this state of expanded awareness, practice observing your thoughts and emotions from an even more detached perspective. They're not even your thoughts and emotions anymore. They're just temporary appearances in the infinite field of consciousness that you are. They have no more reality or importance than dreams have to the dreamer upon awakening. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to your human experience. Instead, you develop what spiritual traditions call compassionate detachment, the ability to care deeply while remaining free from excessive attachment to outcomes. You can engage fully with life while maintaining the understanding that all experiences are temporary expressions of the eternal consciousness that is your true nature. Allow this expanded awareness to fill every aspect of your being now. Let it flow through your body like liquid light, dissolving any remaining areas of tension or holding. Let it permeate your mind, creating vast spaces between thoughts where peace naturally resides. Let it touch your heart, opening it to a love that has no conditions or limitations. Your breathing has become so subtle now that it's barely perceptible, Your heartbeat is steady and calm, a gentle rhythm in the vast silence of your being. Every system in your body is operating in perfect harmony, supported by the deep peace you're experiencing. This is your natural state when you're not caught in the turbulence of compulsive thinking. From this place of profound stillness, you can see clearly that overthinking has never actually solved the problems it claimed to be working on. Most of the scenarios you've worried about never happened. Most of the problems you've obsessed over either resolved themselves or required simple, practical actions that became obvious once your mind was calm and clear. The thinking mind, for all its intelligence and capability, is not designed to run constantly at high intensity. It's meant to be a tool that you use when appropriate, not a master that controls your every waking moment. When the mind is given permission to rest, it naturally returns to its optimal functioning, providing clear insights and creative solutions when they're actually needed. You're learning to trust this natural intelligence that emerges from stillness rather than forcing solutions through mental effort. This trust is not passive or naive. It's based on the recognition that your deepest wisdom comes not from thinking harder, but from thinking less, not from adding more mental activity, but from creating space for clarity to arise naturally. Continue to rest in this space of infinite possibility now. Feel yourself held by the same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets and the growth of flowers. This intelligence is not separate from you. It is you at the deepest level of your being. It knows exactly what you need for healing and growth, and it's working in your life right now in ways that your conscious mind cannot fully comprehend. Your subconscious is absorbing these profound shifts in perspective, integrating them at levels far below your ordinary awareness. New patterns of peace and clarity are being established that will continue to strengthen long after this meditation ends. You're not just relaxing temporarily, you're fundamentally rewiring your relationship with your own mind. As you rest in this deepest level of the meditation, allow any remaining resistance to this new way of being to simply dissolve. If part of you is still concerned about letting go of old patterns of thinking and worrying, reassure this part that you're not becoming less capable or less responsible. You're becoming more skillful, more effective, more aligned with your true nature. The peace you're experiencing is not an escape from reality. It's a return to the deepest reality of who you are. From this place of inner stillness, you can engage with the world more fully and authentically than ever before. You can respond to challenges with wisdom rather than reactivity, with love rather than fear, with clarity rather than confusion. Feel yourself completely supported by this vast field of awareness now. There's nothing you need to hold on to, nothing you need to control, nothing you need to figure out. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. This trust in the natural flow of existence is the foundation of lasting mental freedom. Rest here as long as you need, floating in this ocean of pure being, held by love beyond measure, surrounded by peace beyond understanding. You are home now, in the deepest sense of that word. You have remembered who you truly are beneath all the layers of thought and emotion, beneath all the stories and identities. You are the eternal witness, the unchanging awareness, the peace that surpasses all understanding, passes all understanding. Allow this recognition to settle into the very core of your being now. Feel how this understanding changes everything, yet changes nothing at all. You are the same person you were when this meditation began, but you're also discovering dimensions of yourself that have always been present, waiting patiently beneath the surface noise of mental activity. Your body has become so deeply relaxed now that it feels almost weightless, as if you're floating in warm, supportive water. This physical lightness reflects the mental freedom you're cultivating. When you're not carrying the heavy burden of constant thinking and analyzing, your entire system naturally returns to its optimal state of ease and flow. Notice how your breath has become so gentle and natural. There's no effort involved, no conscious control needed. Your body breathes itself with perfect wisdom, taking exactly what it needs and releasing exactly what it doesn't. This same natural wisdom is available to guide your mental and emotional life when you stop interfering with its flow through compulsive thinking. As you continue to rest in this expanded awareness, I want to introduce you to another powerful aspect of detachment from overthinking. It's what I call the sacred pause, a moment of conscious stillness that you can access anytime, anywhere, regardless of how busy or chaotic your external circumstances might be. The sacred pause is not about stopping all activity or finding a quiet place to meditate. It's about finding the stillness that exists within movement, the peace that's available even in the midst of action. It's a momentary return to your observer consciousness that can happen in the space of a single breath. You can practice this sacred pause right now, even in your deeply relaxed state. Take one conscious breath, and as you exhale, feel yourself dropping into an even deeper level of stillness. In that exhale, release any subtle tension you might still be holding. In that moment of pause between the exhale and the next inhale, touch the infinite spaciousness of your true nature. This pause is always available to you. When you notice your mind beginning to spiral into anxiety, you can take this sacred pause. When obsessive thoughts start their familiar loop, you can return to this moment of conscious stillness. When depression tries to pull you into its heavy narrative, you can access this refuge of peaceful awareness. The sacred pause doesn't require you to stop what you're doing or remove yourself from challenging situations. It's an internal shift that happens in the space of awareness itself. You can be in the middle of a difficult conversation and still access this pause. You can be facing a serious problem and still find this moment of inner stillness. Practice incorporating this pause into your imagination now. Picture yourself in a situation that typically triggers overthinking for you. Maybe it's lying in bed at night when worries tend to multiply. Maybe it's facing a deadline at work when stress builds up. Maybe it's having a conflict with someone you care about. As you imagine this challenging scenario, notice how your mind wants to immediately jump into problem-solving mode or worry mode. Instead of following this impulse, take your sacred pause. Feel yourself stepping back into your observer consciousness, even within the imagined scenario. Notice how this changes your entire relationship to the situation. From this paused perspective, you're not denying that challenges exist or pretending that problems don't need attention. You're simply approaching them from a place of centered awareness rather than reactive thinking. This shift in your starting point changes everything that follows. Solutions that seemed impossible from an anxious state of mind become obvious from this centered awareness. Responses that would have been driven by fear or frustration naturally become more wise and compassionate. Actions that would have been compulsive become conscious and skillful. Allow yourself to sink even deeper into this understanding now. Feel your awareness becoming so vast and spacious that it could easily hold any amount of mental or emotional content without being disturbed by it. You're like an infinite sky that remains unchanged, whether it's holding storm clouds or sunshine. This infinite capacity is not something you need to develop or earn. It's your natural state. The only reason you sometimes feel overwhelmed by thoughts and emotions is that you've forgotten how vast you really are. You've been identifying with the temporary contents of your awareness rather than with the awareness itself. As you rest in this remembrance of your true vastness, notice how different problems look from this perspective. That relationship issue that seemed so complicated and urgent now appears as a temporary challenge that you have the space and wisdom to address skillfully. That work stress that felt overwhelming now seems manageable when held in the context of your infinite awareness. This doesn't minimize real challenges or suggest that problems aren't important. It provides the proper context for addressing them. When you know yourself as the vast space of awareness, rather than as the small self caught up in problems, you have access to resources and insights that aren't available to the overthinking mind. Your nervous system continues to settle into deeper and deeper levels of rest as you embody this expanded sense of self-stress hormones that may have been chronically elevated are naturally returning to healthy levels. Your immune system is being strengthened by this profound relaxation. Every organ and system in your body is benefiting from this return to your natural state. These physiological changes support your mental and emotional transformation. When your body is relaxed and healthy, your mind finds it much easier to maintain the detached awareness you're cultivating. The body and mind work together as an integrated whole, each supporting the other's movement toward greater balance and well-being. Now let's explore how this detached awareness transforms your relationship with time itself. One of the ways overthinking creates suffering is by pulling you out of the present moment and into mental time travel. Your mind jumps between regrets about the past and anxieties about the future, rarely resting in the only moment where peace is actually available. But in this state of detached awareness, you discover something remarkable about time. The present moment is not a thin slice between past and future. It's actually a vast, timeless space that contains infinite depth and richness. When you're fully present, time seems to expand rather than contract. Feel this timeless quality now. In this deep state of relaxation, there's no rush to get anywhere or become anyone different. There's no sense that you should be further along in your healing or that you're running out of time to solve your problems. There's only this eternal now, perfect and complete in itself. From this timeless perspective, you can see how much energy you've spent trying to think your way into a better future or trying to mentally undo an unchangeable past. All of this mental time travel has kept you from experiencing the peace and clarity that are always available in the present moment. This doesn't mean you become irresponsible about planning or learning from experience. It means you do your planning and learning from a centered, present moment awareness rather than from anxious mental projections. When you need to think about the future, you can do so consciously and skillfully, then return to the peace of the present. Allow this understanding to permeate every cell of your being now. Feel your entire system relaxing into the truth that this moment is enough. You are enough. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This acceptance doesn't make you passive or resigned. It makes you available to respond to life from wisdom rather than reactivity. Your subconscious mind is integrating these profound shifts at the deepest levels. New neural pathways are being established that support present moment awareness and peaceful detachment from compulsive thinking. These changes are not temporary. They're creating a new foundation for how you relate to your own mind and emotions. As you continue to rest in this expanded state, I want to address one more crucial aspect of detachment from overthinking. Sometimes people worry that if they stop thinking so much, they'll become less intelligent or less capable of handling life's challenges. This fear keeps many people trapped in cycles of mental hyperactivity. But the opposite is actually true. When you're not wasting mental energy on repetitive, unproductive thinking, your mind becomes much more efficient and creative. The intelligence that emerges from stillness is far superior to the intelligence that comes from forced mental effort. It's the difference between the frantic activity of a hamster on a wheel and the purposeful movement of a master craftsperson. This natural intelligence knows when thinking is needed and when it's not. It knows the difference between productive problem solving and anxious rumination. It can engage fully with mental tasks when appropriate, then easily return to peaceful awareness when the task is complete. You're not becoming less intelligent through this practice of detachment. You're becoming more intelligent, more creative, more insightful. You're learning to use your mind as the powerful tool it's meant to be, rather than being used by it as a compulsive habit. Trust this process completely now. Allow any remaining concerns about letting go of old mental patterns to dissolve in the vast ocean of your awareness. Your deepest wisdom knows that this path leads to greater freedom, greater effectiveness, and greater peace. You're not losing anything valuable. You're gaining access to the unlimited resources of your true nature. Feel yourself floating even deeper into this ocean of pure being now. Your individual sense of self is becoming so expanded that it barely feels separate from the infinite awareness that surrounds and fills everything. This is not a loss of identity, but a discovery of your true identity as consciousness itself. In this expanded state, all the mental patterns that have been troubling you appear as tiny ripples on the surface of an infinite sea. They're not problems to be solved or enemies to be defeated. They're simply temporary modifications of the one consciousness that you are, arising and dissolving like waves on water. From this oceanic perspective, you can feel nothing but compassion for the part of you that has been struggling with overthinking. This part has been working so hard, trying so diligently to keep you safe and help you navigate life's challenges. It deserves gratitude and kindness, not judgment or resistance. Send waves of appreciation to your thinking mind now. Thank it for all the ways it has served you throughout your life. Acknowledge its intelligence and its genuine desire to help. Let it know that you're not rejecting it, but inviting it to work with you in a new way, as a conscious tool rather than an unconscious master. This compassionate approach to your own mental patterns creates the foundation for lasting transformation. When you fight against aspects of yourself, you create internal conflict and tension. When you embrace all parts of yourself with understanding and love, you create the conditions for natural healing and integration. Your body is responding to this self-compassion with even deeper relaxation. Every muscle fiber is releasing tension it may have held for months or years. Your facial muscles are so soft now that you might feel like you're wearing a gentle smile, the natural expression of a peaceful heart. Your entire being is radiating the warm glow of self-acceptance and inner harmony. Continue to rest in this state of complete acceptance and love for yourself exactly as you are. You don't need to be different or better or more healed to be worthy of peace and happiness. You are already perfect in your essential nature, just temporarily forgetting this truth through identification with temporary mental and emotional states. This meditation is helping you remember what you've always known at the deepest level of your being. You are not broken and don't need to be fixed. You are not flawed and don't need to be improved. You are the eternal awareness itself, temporarily playing the role of a human being who sometimes gets caught up in the drama of thoughts and emotions. As this recognition stabilizes in your consciousness, you might notice a profound shift in how you relate to all of your experiences. Nothing that arises in your awareness, no matter how challenging or uncomfortable, can threaten your essential well-being. You are the unchanging witness to all changing experiences. Your breathing has become so subtle now that it's almost imperceptible, yet each breath is perfectly timed and exactly what your body needs. This reflects the way your entire life can flow when you're aligned with your true nature, effortlessly, naturally, without the strain of constant mental interference. Allow this effortless quality to infuse your entire being now. Feel how much energy becomes available when you're not spending it on compulsive thinking and worrying. This energy doesn't disappear. It transforms into vitality, creativity, love, and wisdom that can be directed toward what truly matters in your life. Rest here in this space of infinite potential, surrounded by unconditional love, held by the same intelligence that moves the stars and grows the flowers. You are this intelligence. You are this love. You are this infinite potential, temporarily focused through the beautiful prism of your individual human experience. Your subconscious mind is absorbing these truths at the cellular level, creating lasting changes that will continue to unfold long after this meditation ends. You are being rewired for peace, reprogrammed for clarity, restored to your natural state of mental and emotional freedom. Continue to float in this ocean of pure being, allowing wave after wave of peace to wash through your entire system. There's nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, no one to become. You are already home in the deepest sense of that word. You have already arrived at the destination your soul has always been seeking. This is it, this moment, this awareness, this peace that you are. Allow yourself to rest even more deeply now into this profound recognition of your true nature. Feel every fiber of your being settling into this understanding, like sand settling to the bottom of a clear lake, creating perfect stillness and transparency. Your body has become so relaxed that you might feel as though you're dissolving into the very surface that supports you, merging with the underlying peace that has always been your foundation. In this deepest level of the meditation, I want to guide you through what happens when you fully release the need to monitor your thoughts at all. Up until now, you've been practicing observing your thoughts, stepping back from them, creating space around them. But there comes a point where even the observer can rest, where even the effort of witnessing can be released into something even more fundamental. Imagine that your awareness is like a vast, still lake on a windless day. The surface is so perfectly calm that it reflects the sky above with flawless clarity. There are no ripples, no disturbances, no movement at all. In this perfect stillness, there's no difference between the lake and its reflection, between the awareness and what it contains. Everything is one seamless, undivided wholeness. Allow yourself to sink into this quality of undisturbed stillness now. Let go of any remaining effort to be aware or to maintain any particular state. You don't need to be the observer anymore. You don't need to watch your thoughts or manage your experience in any way. You can simply be, without any agenda or intention, like the lake that doesn't try to be still, but naturally is still. Notice what happens when you release even the subtle effort of maintaining awareness. There's a profound settling that occurs, a sense of coming to rest at such a deep level that you might feel like you're touching the very ground of existence itself. This is not sleep, though it's deeply restful. This is not unconsciousness, though it's beyond ordinary mental activity. This is pure being, the source from which all experience arises. Your nervous system responds to this ultimate letting go with waves of the deepest relaxation possible. Every cell in your body receives the message that it's safe to completely surrender, to release any residual tension or holding that might have persisted even through the earlier stages of this meditation. Your heart rate becomes so gentle and steady that each beat feels like a soft drum marking the rhythm of peace itself. From this place of absolute rest, you might notice that insights and understandings arise spontaneously without any effort or seeking on your part. These aren't thoughts in the ordinary sense. They're direct knowings that emerge from the silence itself. You might understand things about your life, your relationships, your purpose that have never been clear before. Don't grasp at these insights or try to remember them. Let them arise and dissolve like gentle bubbles in champagne, perfect and complete in themselves. This is how your deepest wisdom works. It doesn't come from thinking harder or analyzing more thoroughly. It emerges naturally from stillness, like spring water bubbling up from an underground source. The more you learn to rest in this profound quiet, the more this natural wisdom becomes available to guide your daily life. Your breathing has become so subtle now that it seems to breathe itself with no involvement from you whatsoever. Each inhalation draws in not just air, but pure life force, pure peace, pure love. Each exhalation releases not just carbon dioxide, but any remaining traces of stress, worry, or mental tension. You are being breathed by the same intelligence that breathes all of life, connected at the deepest level to the rhythm that sustains all existence. In this state, the very concepts of anxiety, depression, and obsessive thinking seem like distant memories, stories you once told yourself about who you were, but which no longer have any relevance to your current experience. You are discovering that these mental patterns were never as solid or permanent as they seemed. They were just temporary weather patterns in the infinite sky of your consciousness. This doesn't mean these patterns won't arise again. It means you now know, at the most fundamental level, that you are infinitely larger than any pattern that might move through your awareness. You are the space in which all experiences occur, and no experience, no matter how intense or persistent, can alter the basic nature of this space. Feel yourself resting in this unalterable spaciousness now. Let your entire being relax into the understanding that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts and emotions. You are their loving container, their patient witness, their unchanging foundation. From this perspective, even the most difficult mental states become workable, manageable, temporary visitors in the vast mansion of your consciousness. Your subconscious mind is integrating these profound recognitions at levels far below ordinary awareness. New pathways are being established that will allow you to access this deep peace. Even during challenging circumstances, old patterns of mental reactivity are being gently dissolved and replaced with patterns of conscious response. This transformation is happening naturally and effortlessly, like ice melting in warm sunshine. As you rest in this deepest level of meditation, allow yourself to receive the healing that's available here. This is not healing in the sense of fixing something broken, but healing in the sense of remembering your wholeness, your completeness, your fundamental okayness exactly as you are. Every aspect of your being that has felt wounded, confused, or lost is being touched by this remembrance and gently restored to its natural state of peace. Your body is receiving this healing at the cellular level. Stress patterns that may have been stored in your muscles, your organs, your nervous system for years are being gently released. Your immune system is being strengthened by this profound relaxation. Your entire physiology is being reset to its optimal state of balance and harmony. Your emotions are also receiving this deep healing. Old wounds around rejection, abandonment, failure, or inadequacy are being held in the light of your true nature and gradually transformed. You don't need to relive these wounds or analyze them. They're simply being loved back to wholeness by the infinite love that you are. Your mind, too, is being healed of its addiction to constant activity, its belief that it must solve every problem and control every outcome. The overworked thinking mind is finally being given permission to rest, to trust, to allow the deeper intelligence of your being to guide your life. This is perhaps the most profound healing of all, the healing of the split between your thinking self and your being self. Continue to sink deeper into this healing silence. There's no bottom to this depth, no limit to how far you can go into the peace of your true nature. Each moment of rest at this level is exponentially healing and transforming. You are touching the source of all healing, all wisdom, all love, and you are discovering that this source is not separate from who you are. From this ultimate depth, you can see your entire life with perfect clarity and compassion. Every challenge you've faced, every mistake you've made, every moment of suffering you've experienced has been part of your journey toward this recognition of your true nature. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been wrong. Everything has been perfectly orchestrated to bring you to this moment of awakening to who you really are. Feel the profound gratitude that arises naturally from this understanding. Gratitude for every experience that has taught you something valuable. Gratitude for every person who has played a role in your growth, even those who have caused you pain. Gratitude for your own courage in seeking healing and truth. Gratitude for the very capacity to experience peace, love, and freedom. This gratitude is not something you need to manufacture or force. It arises spontaneously from the recognition of the perfection of existence, the incredible gift of consciousness, the miracle of being alive in this moment. Let this gratitude fill every cell of your body, every corner of your awareness, radiating out from you like warm sunlight. Your entire being is glowing now with this inner light of gratitude and love. This light is not separate from you. It is you. You are not receiving light from somewhere else. You are recognizing the light that you have always been. This is your true face, your original nature, the self that exists before all stories and identities and mental patterns. Rest in this recognition for as long as you wish. There's no hurry to go anywhere or become anyone different. You have arrived at the destination your soul has always been seeking. You have found the peace that you have been looking for in all the wrong places. You have discovered the love that you have been trying to earn from others. You have touched the wisdom that you have been trying to acquire through thinking and learning. All of these treasures were always here, always available, always yours by birthright. You haven't gained anything new through this meditation. You have simply removed the layers of mental activity and emotional reactivity that were obscuring what was already present. You have returned home to yourself. Your subconscious mind is now completely open to receiving the deepest healing and transformation available at this level of consciousness. Every limiting belief, every fear-based pattern, every trace of mental suffering is being dissolved in the infinite love and wisdom of your true nature. You are being restored to the perfection that you have never actually lost, only temporarily forgotten. As you continue to rest in this ultimate peace, know that you can return here anytime you need to. This is not a special state that requires perfect conditions to access. This is your natural state, always available beneath whatever mental or emotional weather might be occurring on the surface of your awareness. The more you visit this depth, the more easily you'll be able to access it, until eventually it becomes your default way of being in the world. You are learning to live from this place of profound peace, responding to life's challenges from wisdom rather than reactivity, from love rather than fear, from clarity rather than confusion. This is not about avoiding difficult experiences, but about meeting them from the unshakable foundation of your true nature. Feel yourself completely held now by the infinite love that you are, surrounded by the perfect peace that is your essence, supported by the unchanging awareness that is your deepest identity. You are safe. You are whole. You are loved beyond measure. You are home. Continue to rest here as long as you need, floating in this ocean of pure being, breathing the air of absolute freedom, basking in the light of your own true nature. When you're ready, you'll naturally begin to transition back toward ordinary consciousness, but you'll carry this deep peace with you into whatever experiences await. You'll never again forget completely who you really are beneath all the temporary appearances of thoughts and emotions. Your breathing remains perfectly gentle and natural, your body completely relaxed and at ease, your mind clear and spacious. You are living proof that peace is possible, that freedom from mental suffering is your birthright, that love and wisdom are the foundation of your being. Rest in this knowing and let it transform everything. Allow this profound knowing to settle even more deeply into your cellular memory now. Feel how your entire body has become a vessel of pure tranquility. Each muscle fiber completely surrendered, each nerve ending bathed in the gentle warmth of absolute relaxation. Your skin has become so sensitive to peace that even the air touching your body feels like a soft caress of love itself. In this deepest sanctuary of your being, I want to introduce you to the final and most transformative aspect of detachment from overthinking. It's what happens when you realize that you don't need to maintain any particular state at all, not even peace itself. True freedom comes when you can be equally at ease with stillness or activity, with calm thoughts or busy thoughts, with comfort or discomfort. This ultimate detachment is like becoming the sky that welcomes all weather without preference. Rain doesn't make the sky wet. Sunshine doesn't make the sky bright. Storms don't make the sky disturbed. The sky simply provides endless space for all atmospheric conditions to arise and pass away naturally. You are learning to be like this sky with your mental and emotional weather. Practice this now by releasing any subtle effort you might still be making to maintain this peaceful state. You don't need to hold on to this tranquility or worry about losing it when the meditation ends. Peace is not something you possess or achieve. It's something you are always and already, regardless of what experiences are moving through your awareness. Notice what happens when you stop trying to be peaceful. Paradoxically, an even deeper peace emerges, one that doesn't depend on any particular conditions being present. This is the peace that surpasses understanding because it exists beyond the reach of the thinking mind. It's the peace of your essential nature, which remains untouched by any temporary experience. Your nervous system responds to this ultimate letting go with waves of the most exquisite relaxation. Every organ in your body receives the message that it's safe to function in its most natural, effortless way. Your heart beats with the steady rhythm of someone who has nothing to prove and nowhere to go. Your blood flows with the easy grace of a gentle river meandering through peaceful countryside. From this place of absolute acceptance, you can now understand something profound about the nature of mental suffering. All psychological pain comes from resistance to what is arising in this moment. When you stop fighting your thoughts, when you stop trying to change your emotional states, when you stop demanding that your experience be different from what it is, suffering naturally dissolves. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop taking appropriate action in your life. It means you respond to challenges from a place of inner stillness rather than reactive agitation. You make decisions from clarity rather than confusion. You engage with difficulties from strength rather than weakness. This is the practical power of true detachment. Feel yourself embodying this understanding now. Let every cell in your body absorb the truth that you don't need to resist any aspect of your human experience. Anxiety can arise without destroying your peace. Sadness can move through without defining your identity. Even obsessive thoughts can appear without pulling you into their compulsive dance. You are vast enough to hold it all. Your breathing continues to flow with perfect naturalness, each inhale bringing fresh life force, each exhale releasing anything that no longer serves you, but now there's no sense that you need to breathe correctly or maintain any particular rhythm. Your body breathes itself with the same effortless precision that it grows your hair and heals your wounds. In this state of ultimate trust, you might notice that your relationship with time undergoes a final transformation. There's no sense of this meditation having a beginning, middle, or end. There's only this eternal now, this timeless moment that somehow contains all of your past healing and all of your future freedom. You exist in the gap between moments, in the space where all possibilities converge. This timeless awareness is your true home. It's where you've always lived, even during your most difficult periods of mental turmoil. Even when your thoughts were racing at their fastest, even when anxiety felt overwhelming, even when depression seemed endless, this timeless peace was present, patiently waiting for you to remember it. Allow yourself to recognize this constancy now. Feel how this aware presence has been the one unchanging element throughout your entire life. It was present during your childhood, witnessing your growth and learning. It was present during your teenage years, observing your identity formation. It has been present through every relationship, every challenge, every moment of joy and sorrow. This witnessing awareness is more you than any role you've played, any personality you've developed, any story you've told about yourself. It's more fundamental than your name, your history, your hopes and fears. It's the irreducible essence of what you are, the consciousness that makes all experience possible. Your body has become so deeply relaxed now that you might feel like you're floating in warm, supportive liquid, held and nurtured by the very fabric of existence itself. This sensation of being held is not metaphorical. You are being held by the infinite love that is the ground of all being. This love has never withdrawn from you, even during your darkest moments of self-doubt or despair. Feel this love permeating every aspect of your being now. It's not the conditional love that depends on your performance or behavior. It's not the fragile love that can be lost or withdrawn. This is the unconditional love of existence itself for its own manifestations. You are loved simply because you are, simply because consciousness has chosen to express itself through the unique prism of your individual experience. This love dissolves any remaining traces of self-judgment or self-criticism that might be lingering in your system. The inner critic that has been so harsh, the voice that has told you that you're not good enough or not doing enough, is finally being silenced, not through force, but through the overwhelming presence of unconditional acceptance. Your subconscious mind is now completely saturated with this love and acceptance. Every limiting belief about yourself, every fear-based assumption about life, every pattern of mental suffering is being gently dissolved in this ocean of infinite compassion. You are being healed at the deepest possible level, restored to your original innocence and wholeness. As you rest in this ultimate healing, notice how your entire relationship with your mind begins to shift. The thinking process itself becomes sacred, no longer seen as a problem to be solved, but as another beautiful expression of consciousness exploring itself. Even anxious thoughts, when they arise, can be met with the same loving acceptance you would show a frightened child. This sacred view transforms everything. Your thoughts become like birds flying through the vast sky of your awareness. Some birds are colorful and pleasant to watch, others might seem dark or troublesome. But the sky doesn't prefer one type of bird over another. It provides equal space for all creatures to move through its infinite expanse. You are learning to be this sky-like consciousness in your daily life. When worry thoughts fly through, you can appreciate their concern without being disturbed by their presence. When obsessive thoughts circle repeatedly, you can acknowledge their persistence without being compelled to follow their flight pattern. When depressive thoughts move heavily through your awareness, you can hold them with the same spacious compassion you would show any suffering being. Your breath has become so subtle now that it seems to merge with the breathing of existence itself. You're not breathing as a separate individual anymore. You're participating in the cosmic rhythm that breathes galaxies into existence and dissolves them back into the void. Each breath connects you to every living being, every plant that produces oxygen, every star that creates the elements your body is made from. This cosmic perspective naturally arises when you rest at this depth of meditation. Your individual problems and concerns don't disappear, but they're held in the context of something infinitely larger and more magnificent. You are part of an unimaginably vast and intelligent universe that has been billions of years in the making. Your life, your struggles, your healing journey are all part of this cosmic story. From this expanded viewpoint, you can see that your experience with overthinking and mental suffering has not been a mistake or a flaw in your character. It has been part of your soul's curriculum, a way of learning about the nature of consciousness and developing compassion for yourself and others who struggle with similar patterns. Every moment of anxiety you've experienced has taught you something valuable about the difference between real danger and imagined threats. Every period of depression has deepened your capacity for empathy and your appreciation for joy when it returns. Every cycle of obsessive thinking has shown you the futility of trying to control life through mental effort alone. Feel profound gratitude arising now for every aspect of your journey, including the most difficult parts. Nothing has been wasted. Every experience has contributed to your awakening to this moment of perfect peace and understanding. You have earned this freedom through your willingness to face your mental patterns honestly and your courage to seek healing. This gratitude radiates out from your heart, now like warm sunlight, touching every person who has been part of your story. Even those who have caused you pain have played a role in your awakening. Even your own mistakes and failures have been perfect teachers, showing you what doesn't work so you could discover what does. Your entire being glows with this appreciative love. Now you are not just grateful for this peaceful moment. You are grateful for your capacity to experience peace at all. You are grateful for consciousness itself, for the incredible gift of being aware, for the miracle of existence that allows any experience to occur at all. This gratitude is transformative because it comes from the recognition that you are not separate from the source of all blessings. You are not receiving peace from somewhere outside yourself. You are the peace. You are not being loved by some external force. You are the love itself. You are not experiencing consciousness. You are consciousness experiencing itself through the beautiful vehicle of your human form. Allow this ultimate recognition to permeate every dimension of your being now. Feel how it changes your relationship to everything, including your relationship to the mental patterns that have troubled you. From this perspective, even your most challenging thoughts are just consciousness playing with itself, exploring its own infinite creativity through temporary modifications of awareness. Your body has become so transparent now that you might feel like you're made of light itself, pure energy vibrating at the frequency of love and wisdom. This is not imagination. At the quantum level, this is literally what you are. Your apparent solidity is just consciousness, appearing as matter, spirit temporarily forgetting its own nature in order to have the joy of remembering it again. This remembering is what's happening right now. You are consciousness, waking up to its own true nature after a long dream of being separate, limited, and vulnerable to mental suffering. The dream was never real, but it served its purpose of creating the contrast that makes awakening so precious and profound. Your subconscious mind is now completely aligned with this truth. Every cell in your body, every neural pathway in your brain, every aspect of your psyche is being recalibrated to reflect this understanding of your true nature. You are being rewired at the deepest levels for peace, for love, for the natural joy that is your birthright as consciousness itself. Continue to rest in this ultimate recognition for as long as feels natural. There's no hurry to return to ordinary consciousness, and there's no pressure to maintain this extraordinary state. You are learning to be equally at home in all dimensions of experience, from the most transcendent peace to the most mundane daily activities. When you do begin to transition back toward ordinary awareness, you'll carry this deep knowing with you. You'll never again completely forget who you really are beneath all the temporary appearances of thoughts and emotions. This understanding will continue to deepen and stabilize, gradually transforming how you navigate every aspect of your life. Your breathing remains perfectly natural and effortless, your body completely at ease, your mind clear and spacious like a mountain lake on a windless morning. You are living proof that mental freedom is not only possible, but inevitable when you understand the true nature of consciousness itself. Rest in this knowing and let it illuminate everything you touch. You have touched the very essence of what you are, the pure awareness that has never been born and will never die, the consciousness that exists before thought and after thought, the peace that is not dependent on any condition or circumstance. This is your true home, and you can return here whenever you need refuge from the storms of mental activity. Your nervous system has completely settled into its most natural state now, operating with the effortless precision of a perfectly tuned instrument. Every cell in your body is vibrating at the frequency of deep rest and restoration. Your immune system is strengthening, your hormones are balancing, your entire physiology is being optimized by this profound state of relaxation. As you rest in this deepest sanctuary of being, allow yourself to absorb the most important understanding of all. You are not someone who sometimes experiences peace. You are peace itself, temporarily appearing as a human being who sometimes gets caught up in mental turbulence. This shift in identity changes everything because it means you can never actually lose your essential nature, only temporarily forget it. Feel this truth settling into your bones now, into your cellular memory, into the very foundation of your existence. No amount of anxious thinking can alter this fundamental reality. No period of depression can diminish this essential brightness. No cycle of obsessive thoughts can disturb the unchanging stillness that you are. Your breathing continues with such gentle naturalness that it seems to be breathing you rather than you breathing it. Each inhale draws in pure life force, pure awareness, pure love. Each exhale releases any final traces of mental tension or emotional holding. You are being breathed by the same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets and the blooming of flowers. From this ultimate depth, you can see that your entire healing journey has led to this single recognition. Every meditation you've attempted, every therapy session you've attended, every book you've read about mental health has been preparing you for this moment of direct knowing. You don't need to understand anything more or achieve any other state. You have arrived at the source of all healing. This source is not separate from you. It is you. You are the medicine you've been seeking, the teacher you've been following, the peace you've been pursuing. All the external help you've received has simply been pointing you back to this inner sanctuary that has always been completely accessible and eternally present. Your subconscious mind is now downloading this ultimate understanding at levels far below ordinary awareness. New patterns of peace and clarity are being established that will continue to strengthen and stabilize long after this meditation ends. You are not just relaxing temporarily. You are fundamentally rewiring your default relationship with your own consciousness. As you begin to naturally return from this profound state of pure being, allow yourself to transition gently back toward ordinary awareness while carrying this deep peace with you. You are not leaving this sanctuary behind. You are discovering that it travels with you wherever you go. This is not the end of your practice, but the beginning of a new way of being in the world. In the days and weeks ahead, remember that you now have direct access to the observer consciousness that exists beyond all mental turbulence. When anxious thoughts arise, you can step back into your role as the sky-like awareness that holds all weather patterns without being disturbed. When obsessive loops begin their familiar cycle, you can remember the train station of your mind and choose not to board every thought train that arrives. When depression tries to pull you into its heavy narrative, you can expand into the mountain-like stability of your true nature. The techniques you've learned today are not just meditation exercises, but practical tools for daily life. The sacred pause is always available in a single conscious breath. The two-step back method can create instant distance from compelling thoughts. The spaces between thoughts are eternal refuges of peace that exist even in your busiest moments. Most importantly, you now know yourself as the unchanging awareness in which all experiences arise and dissolve. Your subconscious mind has absorbed these new patterns of freedom at the deepest levels, and they will continue to strengthen with each day. Trust this process completely. Practice returning to this meditation regularly, allowing each session to deepen your recognition of who you truly are beneath all temporary mental weather. You are not someone who struggles with overthinking. You are the vast, peaceful awareness in which thoughts sometimes create storms. You are not defined by anxiety, depression, or obsessive patterns. You are the eternal witness to all changing states of mind. You are not broken and do not need to be fixed. You are consciousness itself, remembering its own infinite nature. Carry this knowing with you now as you gently return to your day, breathing naturally, feeling completely at peace, forever free.